Hello. It has been a while since I've done a sit down video, so that's what we're doing today. Today's topic is the feeling of wanting to create more. Growing up, I always wanted to be an artist and I always wanted to be someone who was creative through art. So for me, I found it hard to even express myself in general. I was like, how do I do this? So whenever I used to draw or whenever I used to color, whenever I used to just do anything to do with art or, you know, something that was very practical, I always found some comfort in it because that gave me an outlet to just do something with my time. So whenever I started getting older, I always had that as a backdrop for me to go back to because it just felt comforting to me. And it felt like I just had my own space and my own mind and my own everything that I could just do on my own, and no one could really talk about it or talk into it, if that makes sense. Like no one could really give their opinion about it because it wasn't theirs in the first place. And because I had my own little world of it, whenever I went into it, I was like, okay, this is mine. And it's genuinely something that I can call mine. Although it isn't fully mine, it was just something that I could cherish and keep to myself. But don't get me wrong, I did always show people my art and show people what I made or what I drew or what I, just created in general. And obviously, people would have their opinions, and that's okay. They can have their opinions. I'm about to say I'm good with criticism, but I don't know about that. Actually, I might be lying. I don't know. It depends on who it is that's talking. If someone who actually has valuable information is talking to me, then you can talk to me. But otherwise, shush! I'm talking about people who aren't actually creative and just more intellectual. More power to you. Although I don't know how I would live if that was me. Whenever I just wanted to have an escape or an outlet, I would always turn back to me creating things. Now that I'm getting older, I haven't had time to fully be immersed in it as much as I used to be, especially during COVID times. Because I did art and design in college, it was a bit harder for me to fully create things that I actually liked. For me, whenever I created something within education, it didn't feel right to me because someone would be critiquing my work, and although I was happy with it, they wouldn't be happy with it. And rightfully so, I didn't do my research right. I didn't know how to create stuff within an educational manner because it didn't make sense to me. And it still doesn't make sense to me. How are you going to grade artwork and grade people's creative process? It never made sense to me. How are you going to grade it? It doesn't make sense. But that's also me because I was a very academic person and I'm still not an academic person. Don't get me wrong, I'm not changed. So whenever I would get told what to do exactly or what I could be doing better or how to be doing something, it always made me so annoyed. I still passed all the things that I needed to pass, but I wasn't always happy with what I did. Like I remember in college, I can have someone to back me up on this. I enjoyed college and it was the first time where I was feeling like, oh my god, yay! It was just that I was focusing on and nothing else. But when I was in college, my tutor, he would give me like some sort of like ideas and assignments, or as you do, like trying to help me do my work. There was one that for some reason, I went with it, and I was just like, okay, I'll do it because then you'll just leave me alone. He was just telling me to notice like little things outside, like that I see all around me. And I was like, oh, okay, that's not a bad idea. But then he's just carried on talking. He kept saying, oh, like go out and see the nature, like go see the leaves that fall on the ground. I was like, okay, this is not bad. Okay, we could be going somewhere, see the grass. Okay, that's a bit weird. I don't know. Pieces of hair that are on the ground, pick them up and put in your sketchbooks. And I'm like, huh? I am not picking up someone's random hair from the floor and putting it in my sketchbook. Are you joking? I'm not doing that. I don't know what's been on that. I don't know whose hair that is. That's some type of voodoo kind of. I'm not doing that. As bad as that sounded to me, I was like, there's no way I'm doing that. Then he proceeded to say, oh, why don't we do a project on weeds? And I don't mean that kind. I mean like the weeds that are coming out of the ground, that are like coming through the cracks, and that I just that are not supposed to be there. I was like, huh? And now that I look back on it, it isn't that bad of a assignment, especially when you're doing art. But I was so taken back by it because I was giving my own ideas, and then he scrapped all them and decided, yes, let's go with weeds on the ground on the pavement. Don't get me wrong, I did like the things that came out of it. I try and insert some pictures here, but it was just so random. Especially when I would put my ideas forward, it would always get shut down, and I didn't like it because it was like, why did I even try and give my own ideas and inspiration when it's just gonna get shut down? Carrying on from that, it just made me not enjoy art as much and enjoy being creative as much. And during college, it was also COVID, so we weren't in a normal environment the whole time. We were in our houses in lockdown, and we were not able to go outside. We weren't even allowed to do the things that we usually did. That also played a big part in my motivation and my drive to do more creatively. But then I also created pieces in my house that I really liked. Like, I would look at bunches of things that are just like in my view. Like, for example, a lot of clutter is in my house. As you do, I'll just look at it and I'll be like, okay, let's draw this. And I created pieces I liked from them because they were like sketches, but like they were really detailed, and I really liked how they turned out. And it's just like the art of noticing in a way. I did it before it was a trend, guys. I did it before it was a trend. So after college, I never had the motivation to really create stuff because I was like, okay, maybe I'm not creating good things, and maybe I've been lied to, and maybe I'm actually not talented. Which feels weird for me to say this out loud because even though I didn't fully think that, in the back of my mind, it was there, and I didn't want to acknowledge it. So I'm acknowledging it now. It's so fun. After college, I didn't know what to do with my art. Whenever I tried to go back to my art, I tried to do things that I genuinely loved and I genuinely wanted to look back on and wanted to create and wanted to be inspired by. Like, there's this one sketchbook that I have at the moment. It's this massive one. Oh, why am I holding it like that? It's this massive one, and I've had this since 2021. It's been 3 years, and I have filled. Let's check. Okay, maybe I have. I was about to say I've not even filled up halfway, but I think I'm just about going to. Like, I've filled up. I've. I don't know how I'm holding this. I filled up this much of my sketchbook, and this much has not been filled. Are you joking? It's got hair all over it. Ugh. My cats. So I was trying to create pieces that I genuinely like, but even then, I didn't fully love any of them because it just felt forced, and I felt like I didn't have talent. But then more and more, once I kept going and once I kept striving to wanting to create more and wanting to be like, okay, I can draw, I can do things creatively, I am a creative. Let me try and use my talent for me and only me again. And when I did that, it just made me want to do it again because I loved it. So there's this piece that I did. It was just like I said, I did love drawing a lot of things that were just in my house and that were just like cluttered. For me, I just kissed my mic. For me, I really loved how this turned out because I was like, okay, I'm just using basic like materials as well. Like, I was literally just using a pen. One of those pens with like different colors on it. I was literally just using that. So I was just using that, and I just loved how it turned out because I was like, okay, this is so simple. It doesn't have to be extravagant. When you're creating something, it doesn't have to be so big and so methodical, and it doesn't have to be so pristine and so what's the word? I just lost my train of thought. It doesn't have to be so particular because I think that's what also fed into me not wanting to create more. I wanted to be so particular about certain things and certain things I was making. I wanted it to be so perfect, but it didn't help me doing that. I just kept coming back to it, and I still wasn't liking with what I was making, so I just didn't create or draw for a while actually. In my sketchbook, I put dates down so then I can look back and see what I've actually made. And I don't think I drew a lot in 2022. Let's check. Okay, I drew one thing in 2021, and then I started drawing in 2022 again. and then I stopped again, and then 2022 was still hit, 2023 hit, and then I started to make more things like this. And I was like, okay, got something going on. We're kind of getting a style here. And you'll probably recognize this because it is actually the banner of my channel. So while you're subscribing to me, you can see it there. I'm so sorry. And I was like, okay, we're creating stuff, we're doing something. Sorry, I'm getting really distracted just looking through this because it's like, what is going on in this book? What is going on? And I also created a YouTube video once of me sketching and painting, and I did not like it. It took me so long to edit, it took me so long to do, and I hated how it turned out because I was like, what have I done wrong? I didn't do anything wrong. I just didn't like how it turned out. So I took it down. And some people will know, some people won't. This is very early on when I was starting again on YouTube. So you'll never know. When everyone gets here, you won't know I'm talking about, but I can show you sketches. This is one of the pages I did. I wanted to do like lily pads and lotus flowers in a pond. This is another one that I did, the other side of it, so then it would make 2 pages. And I drew again in it recently, and I forgot to write the date down. And I tried to do illustrations. I don't think I'm going to show you though, because I don't like how it turned out. But then again, I don't like how some of my things turn out, and I need to just accept the fact like it's okay if you don't create everything that is so beautiful and that you can present to everyone. Just do it for yourself again. I think that's what it got me so warped and so like in a spiral of me going down in motivation and drive for creativeness, because I think I also have to remember that me creating isn't just with me sketching and me drawing. It's also me in my everyday life and how I go about myself. For example, how I dress myself, how I present myself, how I spend my time, like hobbies and doing things that genuinely make me happy. Me doing like activities outside of my house, me going to an art gallery, or me going just to see nature. Like that is a creative inspiration for me. That gives me a creative drive because I'm getting inspiration from the outside world. Like just those examples, like I think I don't give myself enough credit because I also do have other ways of me expressing myself creatively. Or just me going in Pinterest, for example. I love Pinterest. Pinterest is the one. Honestly, if you are creative and you don't have Pinterest, I don't think you're actually creative. I think you're lying. Pinterest genuinely helps me so much because I can get so much inspiration from it, and I can just like try and visualize things for myself if I want to create more. I have a board of art inspiration or art inspo. I'll try and put a screenshot here, and I literally have categories in it where I just put like different things in that I can go back on. So like if I want to draw and if I want to sketch, I can go back on it and see, okay, let me try and replicate this into my own style. And it helps me so much. That's also another thing. Style and trying to find your niche is so hard because it's not like a linear thing. It's very much up, down, up, down, up, down. I was talking about something. What was I talking about? Oh, yes. I forgot what my train of thought was, so I'm going to move on. It's okay to create pieces that are not good in your eyes. We always try and make pieces that are like so to the T of what we try and envision in our heads, and we try and translate that onto something else. And it's okay for it not to be good or not to be perfect because it's not supposed to be all the time. It's more about the journey of actually making something or the process of actually making something rather than the end product for some things, not all cases. Me making a video is more about the end product, but me actually creating something like sketching or painting, it is somewhat about the end product, but it's more about me actually learning the process through it and me learning a new style through it. It doesn't have to be a career path as well, being creative. It can just stay as a hobby. I always wanted to make my art and me being an artist into something of a career, into something that could earn me money or that could lead me to somewhere higher up when I'm older. And I always forgot, like, it can just be a hobby. But then when I was going through college, I was like, maybe I don't want to do this as a full time thing. It it took the joy out of me actually creating stuff that I liked, and me making things. It did take the joy out of it, especially when you try and make something so corporate and so like something so like like something that's not supposed to be on a straight line and trying to make it into something firm. Like art isn't firm. Art is like a very much of a burst of energy, and it's just like all over the place, and it's not linear, and it's not one thing, it's many things, it's multiple things. It could be me making a video, it could be me doing my hair, it could be me expressing myself through fashion, it could be me posting something, it could be me drawing something, it can be me literally just daydreaming. It's not just one thing. And it made me envy so much people because they were able to make it into something. And for me, I didn't want to take that risk of it. Or if I did take that risk, I would just know I'd just get burnt out by it because I wouldn't enjoy it as much as I did anymore. But now I'm at a point in my life where I want to create more and I want to make things. But I always have that fear in the back of my head where I'm like, can I do it again? Can I make things again? Can I truly make things I'm actually genuinely happy with? And honestly, I've just got to take that risk and find out for myself before asking anyone else. This video isn't just for creatives, it's also for people who don't class themselves as creative because it can just be read or watched as a topic about motivation and about drive and wanting to do more in general. So you don't have to be creative to listen to this. So I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know how this is going to turn out at all, but I hope it turns out well. I don't know if this video was too vague or if it was too all over the place, so you can let me know. I feel like this was a very vulnerable video for me because I don't like talking about myself. I don't like talking about my experiences. I don't like sharing them, especially with people that I don't know and I don't know who's going to see it. But I've learned to let go of that a bit because I can't control everything. I know that through this, I can grow more through my creative endeavors, and I hope that you can join me by subscribing and watching all my other videos if you want. I know a lot of you can resonate with this, whether you make things or not. I hope you did enjoy this, me ranting. And if you actually made it to the end, thank you. How on earth did you do that? I don't know. I don't know how you did that. I think that's the end of today's video. And yeah, okay, bye.